There's an important quality that we can all learn, actually, from a side point in the story that appears in this week's parsha, Vayeira, where Hashem is considering what to do about Sodom. Sodom had been an evil city, they had sinned greatly, and it says that Hashem came down. Erdah Nah, Hashem says, let me go down and see what the people of Sodom have done, and then consider what my response should be. Now, it's interesting that, as usual, the Alter Rebbe in Likutei Torah understands this to be not just a story that happened, but something that teaches us great lessons both about Hashem and how Hashem, so to speak, operates, and also between the lines about the way that we can learn to lidamis lidrachav, to in our own way, to be similar to Hashem, to imitate Hashem's way, and as we'll see soon. Now, there's a interesting almost contradiction, that on one hand we say that Hashem knows everything, Hashem's involved in everything. A person doesn't stub his toe without Hashem knowing, being involved and caring. And then at the same time we say that nothing changes Hashem, that Hashem is one, nothing can change him, he has never changed, he will never change. And philosophers ask, isn't that itself change? Isn't the knowledge and the care about every detail of the world change in itself? And says the Alter Rebbe, the words of Chazal, the words of our rabbis, which we use many times in Gemara and in our prayers, Golei v'yadua, that it is revealed and known to Hashem, those words themselves answer the question. Because you see, yes, Hashem knows everything, but that knowledge is not something that he has to actively work towards, that he has to actively consider and work out and understand. It's something that is just revealed and known to him. It's in the passive, revealed and known, not that he has to discover it and know it, comprehend it, it's just within him. And because his knowledge is that way, it doesn't create any change. Now, we might use the metaphor of a computer that has to compute and work something out. Then the computer has to be actively working in order to process the information. Whereas when it's just connected to a server, it's something on the internet, then as long as your computer is connected to that other computer that did the calculation and computing, your computer has that information too, but you don't have to be actively involved. Your computer does not have to work to get to the conclusions. It just has the benefit of the other computer, so to speak. Now, Hashem has both Eris and Kalim. Lights, literally, or lights or energy, content, and then the kalim, which are the vessels, the receptacles, the containers that hold that. And this is discussed in many places in Kabbalah and Hasidus. The idea is that is the content. For example, you have a feeling, and then you share that feeling. What you're feeling is the light, the energy. The words that you use, the physical sounds you use to share it, are the kalim, are the vessels. Now, Hashem's kalim are actively involved in everything of this world. Hashem's kalim actively know what's going on. Whereas Hashem's just take it in, automatically it is revealed and known to Hashem at the level of whereas at the level of kalim, he actively knows, yodeya, not, as in yodua, that it is just passively known. And what happens when we do a mitzvah or an Vayeira at a basic level is that it touches the kalim most directly, the aspects of Hashem that hold his light and are most related to our world. And then those kalim then insert that information back up into the and it goes in this chain reaction up and up till it touches Hashem's very essence. And That's what we mean when on one hand we talk about Hashem passively, Goliv Yadua, it's revealed and known to him. On the other hand, we talk about Hashem figuratively, his eyes, Einov Meshaitates, his eyes scan through the whole world. There's psukim in Zechariah about this, Divrei Yomim. And that's also the meaning of the two types of angels. There's the angels that are called masters of the eye and masters of the ear. The eye is close. The eye actively sees. That's what scans the world. The ear just gets it inserted within. When you hear something, you're not as directly connected as when you see it. And that's the answer to the philosopher's question that yes, Hashem knows everything, but at the same time it doesn't create any change because that knowledge is from the kalim, from the receptacles, the containers, and Hashem himself gains that knowledge, receives that knowledge without active effort. And for us, one practical application may be that we have many things in our lives that may be difficult to deal with. We have many challenges. And we should not live in this sort of dream world where they don't exist. They do exist. But at the same time, while they exist, why don't we try observing them without getting too bogged down by them? Yes, they're there. I notice them as they pass by in my mind. But don't let them bog us down, disturb us to the extent that we are incapacitated, that we can't move on with our life. Because we learn from Hashem, yes, we are aware and we know what's going on in our surroundings, but not in a way that we are involved and changed by that knowledge.